our leadoff hitter tonight, and she can handle this role. Let's welcome to the stage in the chair, Janice Cossar. Okay. People in the know, coaches for whom she played, athletes with whom and against she's participated, even her brother, who's seen her skills develop from toddler age, say Janice Cossar was a stellar athlete 20 years before her time. Born and raised in Halifax, Janice excelled, and by excelled we mean achieved national team status in soccer between 1987 and 1990. Had there been a national ringette team, Janice would have probably been its leading scorer. She played for Nova Scotia in 15 national ringette championships and was named to 6 All-Canadian teams. And on one occasion, well, we'll let her coach, Paul Puma, tell you about that one occasion.
In 1989, we played, it was in they were called Debs back then, the category. It was 18 and over. And we played in the Canadian Championships, which were being held that year in Fredericton, New Brunswick. And about a week before we went to the national championships, Janice sustained a severely sprained ankle in an indoor soccer game. And I thought, well, we didn't have a chance because we had 2 primary scorers on the team, Janice being one, and we didn't have a great deal of secondary support, you know, on that team this year. And I didn't think that there would be any way that Janice was going to be able to play. And obviously, I wasn't going to force her to say you have to play. And it was her decision. She wanted to play, and she had her ankle taped, and she could hardly walk. I don't know how she was going to get that skate, you know, her foot in the skate, but she did. But anyway, we used a little strategy. The rules of ringette were a little different back there in '89. The girls were still using stick colors, and the stick color would designate what part of the ice they could play on. Janice was always a center, which she had a white stick and she could play all over. And I knew that she couldn't skate the whole ice with an ankle like that. So we used a little bit of strategy whereby the only time Janice would touch the ice is when we had possession of the ring in their end of the ice. We'd switch and put her on. And on one leg, she scored 19 goals and 15 assists in 9 games. And I believe in the other 2 playoff games, she scored another 5 goals. And that was an amazing feat.
Had women's hockey been as strong in the 1970s as it is today, Janice could have been an Olympian. She joined St. Mary's University club team at age 15. That was the only outlet available to her in women's hockey, and competed with that team at age 17 in the very first Women's National Hockey Championship in 1982. Her brother Darren, who played hockey at Dalhousie and at the ultra-competitive local senior level, says this about his younger sister.
I don't think she really understands how good she is, or maybe could have been. You know, I look back and just, you know, it bothers me a lot, I guess, to look at where our national hockey program is and women's hockey is growing, and to think if she grew up today, what opportunities would be there. And even with the soccer, to have got into it at a real competitive level, you know, younger. But to her, you know, none of that phases her is a big thing. And even, you know, this honor, I think, to her is, as much as it's an honor, I think deep down she's almost embarrassed.
She was also a silver medalist in field hockey at the 1985 Canada Summer Games, where, after playing the game for 1 year, she scored 14 of Nova Scotia's 16 goals. She played in university and club field hockey national championships and was twice an Atlantic University Conference Field Hockey All-Star. We'll take a look now at Janice playing in the 1985 Canada Summer Games in St. John, New Brunswick, and listen to a segment of the post-game interview.
Nova Scotia just about had to win to keep alive its medal hopes, and did win. Ontario has the leading scorer. Nova Scotia has the runner-up, number 12, Janice Cossar. She is brilliant around the goal, as the 5 she scored today would seem to prove. Saskatchewan could not defend against the amazing goal-scoring ability of Janice Cossar.
After another one.
Cossar is one of the top ringette players in the country, and that may give her some of her superior touch around the goal. Cossar is strong, and she makes use of that strength at the striker position. This goal was her 3rd of the game to make it 4-0, 19 minutes in. She scored her 4th 3 minutes into the second half, and her 5th of the day came as Cossar used some moves usually associated with Wayne Gretzky. The goal you're about to see made it 6-0 Nova Scotia in the 50th minute of play. Cossar started for Dalhousie University this season, and she has led Nova Scotia in these games. 6-0 over Saskatchewan today. Nova Scotia is 3-1, Saskatchewan 0-4. This game featured a lot of offensive power. The Canada game's 2 leading scorers, number 7, Karen Whitfield of Ontario, who started the day with 11 goals. And Nova Scotia's number 12, Janice Cossar, who came into this game with 10 goals, 5 of which she scored in yesterday's win over Saskatchewan. But those goal-scoring stars canceled each other out for the first 20 minutes. At that point, Cossar broke loose. She shocked the favored Ontarians with this goal, and Ontario's shutout streak of 160 minutes was broken. More important to Nova Scotia, it was in the driver's seat, with the big first goal having capitalized from one of the few goal-scoring chances in the first half. 2-1 over Ontario, and a spot in the gold medal final tomorrow.
I think it was a good team play. We started with our defense hustling up, getting the ball to the forwards, and we just tried to keep the pressure on Ontario, not let them really get their attack started. And I guess that's how we won the game.
That first goal by you was a big, big goal.
I think so. Our goal going into the game was to try and get a goal quick and early so that we could try and take some momentum away from Ontario, as they hadn't been scored on yet in the tournament. And I think when we got that goal, everybody got really in gear, and we really decided we could really do it.
A case of first goal wins, do you think?
It was pretty close. I'd say that goal really had a turning point in the game, and I know it helped us to get that goal early. If we had waited till the second half to get going and get a goal, it might have been a different story.
How about that, huh? Nicely done. We're going to get row 12 to try to simulate that wave we saw earlier, so be ready, row 12. Oh, jeez. All right. I was joking. They weren't. All right. She was named All-Canadian goaltender in University women's soccer twice, captained Acadia University's women's soccer team, was MVP of the National Women's Championship game in 1988 when she was also a first-team All-Canadian goalkeeper, and is a dual member of Acadia's Sport Hall of Fame as a member of their 3-time Atlantic Conference soccer champions and as an individual athlete. Laura Saunders coached Janice at Acadia and later had Janice as an assistant coach in the Acadia soccer program.
Time to play a big game. Let's say it was a conference final, or it was one of our stronger competitors in the league. You could always count on her. You knew that she would bring herself ready to play, and she could make the game-winning save. So the players in front of her had a great deal of confidence.
I want to show you a bit of film now that will show you intensity and desire, even during indoor practice. CBC's Colleen Jones is the commentator here.
My brothers were going off to play hockey or whatever. It seemed natural to take me along, so I grew up watching them play. And then when the opportunities came to play ringette, soccer, and that kind of thing, I just kind of fell into it because I'd been born kind of in a rink and grown up watching my brothers play.
Janice found her sports niche in soccer and soon became one of the best goaltenders in Nova Scotia and is now a member of the national team. However, she almost decided not to go to that national selection camp. You see, just 4 days prior to the camp, her best friend and teammate Gun Balderson was killed in a car accident.
I was devastated. I didn't want to think about going on the trip, for one thing. It seemed so unimportant after something of that magnitude. But it basically came down to the fact that I think Gun would want me to go, and we had looked forward to it so much together that I think it was sort of necessary that I go.
And now not a practice goes by that Janice doesn't think of Gun. Knowing if Gun was alive, she'd be in the gym prodding her to do better.
She'd be pushing me or giving me a tap on the behind, saying, like, let's get going sort of thing. So, yeah, you can kind of look and take a little bit of strength from that.
A little harder coming, Janice.
Janice is getting ready to travel to China with the national soccer team next month. What motivates her to train and push hard, even when she doesn't feel like it, is the memory of her friend Gun.
I know how much she wanted it and how much I wanted it, and together how much we looked forward to making the team together, yeah, I kind of look forward that I'm kind of carrying on for her too now.
All right. Her love of sports started early, maybe because she saw and was even encouraged by two older brothers who were involved. She just wanted to be part of what they were doing. And in high school, she played ringette, softball, soccer, and basketball, won MVP awards in all of them, was Female Athlete of the Year in both grades 11 and 12. Plus, she held part-time jobs, coached a bit, and maintained a high academic standard. She attended 3 universities, not because she liked to bounce around, but because of sport and academic opportunities. At Dal, with soccer not a varsity program, she played field hockey, a new sport to her, in the 2 years while earning a Bachelor of Recreation degree. She could see well enough to score goals, but not quite well enough to qualify for the RCMP, which was her desire. Undeterred, she moved to St. Mary's and its criminology program, but due to university transfer rules, was ineligible for field hockey. Despite not having played basketball for 4 years, she tried out for the team and, of course, became a key contributor. After completing her criminology degree, she realized soccer was developing into a national sport for women. She enrolled at Acadia for her master's in recreation and joined the soccer program. With her best friend and teammate, Gun Balderson, Janice trained endlessly, helped Acadia to 2 AUS titles and silver and bronze medal finishes at CIS Nationals. After Gun's passing, Janice made the national team, traveled to Taiwan for competition, and earned much praise for her play and leadership. As she continued her studies at Acadia, she remained on the national team and played in 2 more international tours, then graduated with her master's and retired from soccer to pursue a career. Today, Janice coaches a bit while working as a senior probation officer in the Justice Department in Kentville. She's a role model for young people trying to find their way and a role model for young athletes trying to achieve what this marvelous athlete has achieved. So there you go. There's Janice Cossar. An outstanding super, a natural athlete in many sports, a great person, and a perfect inductee into the Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame. I'll stand and wave. I'm going to present the certificate and the pin now. Janice might stand at some point. Here we go. A Hall of Famer and member of the board from the Valley region, Jerry McMillan, will present the certificate. And for the pin presentation, Janice's 2 brothers, John and Darren, who meant so much in instilling her love of sport in her younger years. Congratulations to you. Test 1, 2, 3. Everybody hear this okay? It's working okay? Was there ever a sport in your life, and you have to be honest, that confounded and puzzled you, or did they all come pretty easy?
I hate to admit it, sports were natural. It always felt like whenever I started something, it just felt like it was supposed to be, and not a problem. No.
And you scored 19 goals in like 8 games or whatever. A quick one for you. A lot of parents today have their kids specialize early on in something. You obviously played everything. I'm guessing you subscribe to the idea of being all around and enjoying a bit of everything?
When one season ended, something else started. So there was always something new, and it was always something different to try, and that's what I liked. And I guess we don't have a lot of that now because it is so specialized. You have to stay one sport for 12 months of the year, but I really enjoyed the diversity and changing and trying something new and something different.
In that litany of accomplishment we just went through, is there 1 or 2 things that stand slightly above the rest?
I mean, if I was picking out, I'd say that the Canada Games in '85, field hockey was kind of special because that was a team that really wasn't supposed to do all that well. It was, you know, ranked 6th or 7th going in, and we won a silver medal, so it was a pretty special experience. And the other one would be probably the first time that I made the national team and played, you know, a game in a Canada jersey was pretty special.
Give me a sense, and I think we got a sense of it as they came up, but what the two brothers meant to you, and how you almost had to play sports, right?
Well, you know, when we were growing up and they were going off to play road hockey or ball at the field, if, you know, I tagged along, and if the other players didn't want me to play, my brothers wouldn't play. So they took me or they didn't play, and they always wanted them to play. So it was kind of a deal. You got all of us or none of us.
Right. That deal's still in effect today, you think. Folks, Janice Cossar, our newest inductee.